parents. That just came in. Hillary Clinton has not held a news conference of any kind, a formal news conference, in, and we're counting, 185 days. Hadley Hith Manning is with us now. Hadley, it's you know, we talk about Donald Trump maybe talking too much and getting in his own way was the storyline earlier with these comments about the judge and what. But 185 days, I know maybe she takes an informal question here and there, but that's a long time without facing reporters head on. What do you think of it?
Right, and this is just perpetuating the idea that she hasn't been honest and open with the American people, that she's not willing to take as many questions from the press. You're right, it draws a great contrast with Trump, who has been very outspoken, even butting heads with members of the press in a very public way. So it raises questions about Clinton's strategy here. Is she waiting for certain scandals and, of course, the latest information about her email servers to blow over? She doesn't want to face the public. She doesn't want to face questions about those things. Certainly her strategy seems to be to wait it out until these storms die down.
Well, it's funny, when the Trump story came up about the tax returns, and he says, well, I'm not going to release the tax returns, none of your business, or whatever it was, people start to say, well, then what are you hiding? What is in the tax returns? The same story, in some ways, is true for Secretary Clinton. If you're not speaking, people start to wonder what you're not speaking about, what you're, holding back on, what you don't want to be asked about, I guess, is the main point, right?
Exactly, and both of these front-running candidates on either side of the aisle are ranked very low by the American people when it comes to honesty and trustworthiness. So not answering questions sometimes can be just as harmful as giving an answer.
What do you think of the way she's running her campaign? I mean, the story kind of narrative, if you will, around her has been that she's not a good candidate for whatever reason, and everybody has their own theories if she's not comfortable or whatever it is, and her supporters say, well, she's better as a day-to-day operator. She was a senator, she was effective, they'll tell you, or she was effective. They will argue as Secretary of State. She's not a good candidate. Is it the candidate? Is it the strategy? What do you make of this campaign?
Well, one difficult problem for the Clinton camp is drawing contrast between her and the status quo. She worked in the current administration. She's very strongly tied to the Obama years. It seems that her economic agenda would not differ much from the direction of the country currently. And she's, of course, running a campaign right now against two fronts. She's got Bernie Sanders to her left, Donald Trump to her right. And as Margaret Thatcher would say, if you stand in the middle of the road, you'll be hit by both sides.
Yeah, that's true. I wonder what Bernie Sanders will do on Wednesday morning because, we had somebody from the Nurses Association earlier said, and was a big supporter of Sanders, who said there's no way he's getting out. He's going to stay in. We take him at his word all the way to the convention. We'll try to convince superdelegates to come over to their side. And, well, you know the story. Do you think he'll get out Wednesday morning, or will he stand by what he's been saying, that he's in this until the convention?
Well, unlike Clinton and Trump, Sanders has been rated more highly on his trustworthiness rating. So it would be unusual for this candidate to say one thing and do something differently. And I believe he's in it for the long haul to influence public policy more so than to win the nomination.
Right, and be a pain. Well, it's a pain in her, whatever, at this point. It's a pain in the neck for her to have him in the campaign. And but I'm sure, thought it would be wrapped up, and at least by June 8th after the primary.
Many of us did. Many people did.
He says he's going to hang around. Thanks, Hadley. Good to see you. Hadley Hith Manning.